I never thought I would betray my best friend, but when she moved back to town with her husband, everything changed. The moment I saw him, I felt something dangerous. Something magnetic. And before I knew it, I had fallen for the one man I should have stayed far away from, my best friend's man. This isn't a story about innocence. It's a confession, and once you hear it, you'll understand why I can never go back. Make sure you like this video and subscribe, because what I'm about to reveal might be the most forbidden story I've ever told. Her name was Clara. She wasn't just my best friend, she was my sister in every way that mattered. We met in college, survived heartbreaks together, shared dreams over midnight snacks, and promised that no matter where life took us, we would always be side by side. But life doesn't keep promises. After graduation, we drifted apart. Clara married, I married, and distance swallowed up what we had. Our calls became shorter, our visits fewer, until one day I realized years had gone by without seeing her face. Then, out of nowhere, Clara called. Her voice lit up my phone like sunlight breaking through clouds. She told me she was moving to my city. Her husband had taken a new job and they were settling nearby. My heart leapt. Finally, a chance to reconnect, to rebuild what time had stolen. I remember the first dinner she invited me to after moving in. I was nervous, excited, eager to see her again. And that's when I met him. Adrian, her husband. From the moment he shook my hand, I felt it. He was tall, confident, magnetic in a way that made it hard to look away. His laugh carried warmth, but his eyes lingered a little too long on mine. I brushed it off at first, told myself it was nothing. I was just happy to have Clara back in my life. But deep down, a part of me stirred, and I knew it wasn't going to be that simple. The weeks that followed felt like a dream. Clara and I slipped back into an old rhythm, like the years apart had been nothing more than a pause. We laughed again, we shared secrets, we made plans the way we used to. But there was always him, Adrian. Every visit blurred the line between comfort and temptation. I noticed the little things first, the way he leaned in when I spoke, the subtle brush of his arm against mine when we reached for the same dish, the quiet smirk when Clara wasn't looking. And I hated myself for noticing, but I couldn't stop. One evening, Clara asked me to help her with dinner. She was rushing, chopping vegetables, telling me stories. When Adrian walked in, his shirt still damp from the gym. His presence filled the room. His cologne lingered in the air, and for a second, I forgot how to breathe. He caught me staring, just for a moment, but it was enough. A silent spark passed between us, unspoken yet undeniable. That night, lying in bed, I replayed every detail. The sound of his voice, the curve of his smile, the way my body betrayed me every time he was near. I told myself I could control it, that I would never, ever betray Clara. But desire has a way of feeding itself. And every day, every accidental touch, every stolen glance made it harder to resist. Then came the first real test. Clara asked me to keep her company while Adrian worked late. We sat in her living room, waiting, talking, laughing. But when he walked in, late, tired, his tie loosened, his eyes meeting mine, my heart slammed against my ribs. I realized then, I wasn't just drawn to him, I was craving him, and craving has a way of demanding more. It started small, moments that should have been innocent but weren't. Adrian would offer to drive me home after dinner at their place. The car would be filled with silence, thick and charged, until he'd break it with a question that lingered too close to dangerous. Do you ever feel like you're meant for something forbidden? I would laugh it off, pretend I didn't understand, but inside, every word pierced me. Then there were the times Clara would leave us alone. She trusted me completely, too much. She'd run upstairs to grab something, and in those stolen minutes, Adrian and I would exchange glances that said more than words ever could. One afternoon, it went further. Clara had asked me to help unpack boxes while Adrian worked from home. She stepped out to run errands, leaving us alone in that house that suddenly felt too quiet. I tried to focus on the books I was shelving, but I could feel him watching me. When I turned, he was there, close, too close. His hand brushed mine as he passed me a book, but he didn't let go. His fingers lingered. I froze, caught between fear and desire. "Do you feel it too?" he whispered. His voice was low, trembling but certain. I should have said no. I should have walked away, but I didn't. I let the silence answer for me. And in that silence, we crossed a line, one we could never uncross. After that, everything changed. Every visit was a game of pretending. Pretending I didn't notice his eyes tracing me when Clara laughed. Pretending Clara's embrace didn't fill me with guilt. Pretending I wasn't secretly waiting for the next stolen moment. But here's the twist I never expected, Clara noticed. She wasn't blind. She saw the way I looked at Adrian. And instead of pulling back, she leaned in. One evening, she asked me a question that turned my world upside down. Tell me the truth. Do you want him? My throat tightened. I wanted to deny it, to protect what little innocence I had left. But Clara's eyes were steady, almost daring me. And in that silence, in that charged pause, I realized something terrifying. Clara didn't want to stop me. She wanted to pull me deeper. The night everything spiraled began like any other. Clara had invited me over for dinner. The three of us laughed, drank wine, and shared stories like we were a happy trio. But beneath the laughter there was tension, a heat that pressed against my skin every time Adrian's gaze locked with mine. When Clara excused herself to take a call, Adrian leaned closer. His voice was barely a whisper. I can't stop thinking about you. My heart raced. The words I had been longing for and dreading hung heavy in the air. I didn't answer. I couldn't, but my silence gave him all the confirmation he needed. Clara returned minutes later, smiling, her eyes darting between us. She set down her phone, looked straight at me, and said something that shattered every boundary I thought existed. I know. I froze. My blood turned to fire. I wanted to run, but Clara's voice was calm, deliberate, even tender. I know you want him. I've seen it, felt it. And maybe I want this too. The room spun. Was she serious? Was this a trap? Or was she truly offering me the very thing I had been craving in silence? Adrian's hand brushed against mine under the table. Clara saw it. She didn't pull away. She didn't scream. She leaned back, watching, almost inviting. It was madness. Betrayal tangled with desire, guilt clashing with hunger. And yet, in that moment, guilt didn't win. Desire did. I let myself fall. Every line blurred. Friendship, loyalty, love. What happened that night bound us in a way none of us could take back. It wasn't just about Adrian anymore. It was Clara too. It was all of us, tied together in a secret that could never see the light of day. And as the night deepened, one truth became clear. I wasn't guilty anymore. I wasn't fighting it. I was indulging in it. But indulgence always comes at a price. The morning after felt unreal. Sunlight poured through Clara's curtains, warm and golden, as though nothing had changed. But everything had. Clara smiled at me the way she always had, only now there was something unspoken in that smile. Adrian kissed her softly, then glanced at me with the same fire from the night before. And I realized I wasn't an intruder anymore. I was part of something forbidden, something reckless, something that none of us could ever explain to the world. The guilt I thought would crush me never came. Instead, there was a strange sense of freedom. For years, I had buried my desires, hidden parts of myself, pretended to be the perfect friend. But in Clara's house, with Clara's husband, all the masks had fallen away. Still, freedom is dangerous. Secrets like this don't stay buried forever. What happens when people notice? When whispers start? When truth finally claws its way into the open? Sometimes I wonder if Clara planned it all along. If she saw my longing years ago and waited for the right moment to pull me in. Or maybe it was Adrian, testing limits until we all surrendered. Or maybe it was me, chasing something I was destined to fall into. All I know is that I'm not here to beg for pity. I don't regret what happened. Not with him, not with her. I only know that sometimes the heart chooses the darkest path, and once you walk it, there's no turning back. So I leave you with this question. If you were me, standing in my shoes, staring at the man you craved and the friend you loved, would you have resisted? Or would you have fallen like I did? If you've listened this far, tell me in the comments, what would you have done? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Because some secrets are too forbidden to keep,